We're going to turn back to 1 Timothy chapter 6, and that's where we're going to spend a long time this morning. 1 Timothy chapter 6, but before you get there, contentment, as we're going to study this morning, leads us to a renewed vitality in our lives. And we have to pray for that, and we have to seek that. The New Testament basically talks about contentment 5 times. In fact, there are 5 passages that deal, in fact, let me show them to you. You probably never marked them. If you have, maybe you forgot. Look back at Luke. We'll get to 1 Timothy, but let me show you all 5 before I park. Luke chapter 3. Contentment's only mentioned 5 times in the New Testament. Here's the first one, Luke 3:14. And the soldiers demanded of him, that's John the Baptist, said, "What shall we do?" And he said, "Do violence to no one, neither accuse any falsely, and be content with your wages." Luke 3:14. Well, that's a great one to mark. Content with your wages. Now, I know I've preached on this before because I grew up in a United Auto Workers General Motors home. My dad, who was a godly believer and was part of the United Auto Workers. And they were supposed to, every 3 years, get very upset and storm around with signs and stomp and, blockade the gates and demand more money. And it always bothered my dad. He worked for 46 years for General Motors. He immensely disliked that. And so what he did is he found that he could do something else and didn't have to stomp at the strike with the sign in front of the gate, blocking it, and in chorus shouting at the management that they wanted more money. By the way, the average auto worker in Michigan earns $110,000 a year. But they'll strike again because discontent means it's not enough. See? What it says in Luke 3:14, be content with your wages. Now this is 5 times contentment's mentioned, but 2 different Greek words. Here's the first word, which means satisfied. Be satisfied. Say, that's enough for me. Instead of wanting more, I'll decrease my wants. I'll decrease my desires to match my wages, which is I call it the Wesley principle. John Wesley, prolific servant of the Lord, wrote 8,000, John and Charles Wesley, between them, 8,000 hymns. But when Wesley started in ministry, he earned 10 pounds, lived on 7, gave away 3. At the end of his ministry, he earned 1,000 pounds, lived on 7, gave away 993. That's called contentment. It's hard. You have to learn it. Look at Philippians 4:11. Here's the second time in the Bible contentment's mentioned. Philippians, all the way to the other end of your New Testaments, 4:11. Not that I speak, this is Paul's testimony, not that I speak with respect of want, for I've learned. See, contentment is not a gift from heaven. It's not one of the fruits of the Spirit. It doesn't just come down on us. It has to be practiced. It's like exercise. It's like endurance. You've got to learn contentment. It's something you work on every day. I don't speak in respect of want, for I've learned, in whatever state I am, therewith to be content. Now, it's fascinating. Paul uses a whole different word for contentment here, because there are 2 different words for contentment, translated content, in the New Testament. This word means independent of external circumstances. What it means is, he says, not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned to be independent of external. I am willing to accept where God has placed me in life. I'm willing to devote my energies to the advancement of His kingdom and not my own. See, a lot of people don't like where God put them in life, and they spend their whole energy in life to get to this level, and that energy should have been used for God, but it was used to get to this level. And great. After 40 years, they're at that level. And what did they do for God? See, that's what Paul's saying is, I am content with where God put me in life and not want to be somewhere else. And I'm not driven by external circumstances. Now, the book of Hebrews, third use of contentment, the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, probably one of the most precious verses in the Bible, is in this context where we find out about the Lord Jesus in verse 5. Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have, because God has said, I will never leave you, I will never forsake you. He's with us always. And we know that verse about He'll never leave us or forsake us, but we skip over the first part of the verse, which says, keep your lives free from the love of money. Whatever you love, you talk about, you seek, you're drawn toward, you want more and more of, if you love it. And he says, don't get enraptured, ensnared, and addicted to money. And be content, be satisfied with what you have. Don't want more. It's so nice you want a little more. He says, don't do it. Cut it off. Why? What's the motivator for contentment? Because Jesus said, you got me. What else do you want? We should be free from inner turmoil. We should be satisfied with our material and financial state. We should possess a sense of peace regardless of our circumstances or feelings.